What's up, bookworms? Welcome to episode 130 of the Cantina Book Club podcast, where readers can find interviews with authors of all genres. I'm Megan, self-proclaimed content queen, here to bring you insights from the authors themselves. Each week features a Cantina conversation with an author, sometimes they're returning guests, and sometimes it's someone new. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on an episode, and feel free to browse through existing episodes so that you can catch an interview about a book that you've already finished. Today's episode features a chat with one of my favorite romance authors, if not my favorite romance author, Anna Darcy, the author of the Binary Hearts trilogy. And the final book in that series, The Love Constant, is finally out as of March 13th. I love the series. I am so glad that I discovered Anna and her work. I will always highly recommend this series and Anna as an author. And for those of you who have read The Desire Variable and The Passion Parameter, you know that those books end on cliffhangers, and Anna definitely had to raise the bar to finish out the trilogy, and I'm going to tell you she did. This book is a little bit darker, but it's still romance, still spicy, and it's still such a tender and powerful love story between two awesome characters. And I was sad to say goodbye, but it was it was amazing. But so some spoilers will pop up, especially because this is the third book in a trilogy. But the episode is more enjoyable if you've read the books anyway. So if you don't know why Anna and I are particularly calling this the third book a little bit darker, hit pause, add this episode to your playlists, and pick up a copy of The Love Constant or the whole dang trilogy if you haven't. This interview will be here when you're ready. Just a heads up that I often use adult language to express my feelings towards these authors and their work, whether the characters just need to get their shit together or I am saying, what the fuck, Anna, for making me feel things. Just please be mindful around listening ears. And without further ado, get ready, grab your favorite drink. Here is Anna. Okay, so today we've got Anna Darcy. We're talking about The Love Constant that comes out on March 13th. That is the final book in the Binary Hearts trilogy. I got the first two. I'm so excited. I love this series. It's one of my top favorite romances, and we've talked about it before. We'll continue talking about it. How you combined three different types of like book tropes, like book helpings into one couple, and I love it. I wasn't sure how I felt about it when I first started The Desire Variable, but then I was like, oh my God, I cannot get enough of them. And I loved everything about it. And I could tell you stepped it up and you challenged yourself. And after reading The Love Constant, you have a knack for suspenseful romance or like even non-romance suspense. You got it, girl. So I'm so excited to talk about this. Finally.
So it's like, I swear I did not mean to take this long to write this book because as I'm like preparing for the Kickstarter for the launch and like my editor, she got the manuscript and everything. I was like, oh, it's been like almost a year now, like a year minus like 2 months. And I swear I was like, I'm sorry, my elder
Cat.
cat is going to annoy him. Pretty fiction. But I know.
It's like, Mom.
Yeah. Oh, she is 18 and a half and she has mastered
Oh,
the art of math in the way that is going to trigger me the most
yeah.
so that I do her bidding.
Oh, she
And
knows. She knows.
yes, she does
That's so
know.
funny. I have my dog, she's going on 12, and so she is that old lady brat style. So she knows, like, she's relentless. She will bug me knowing that if she bugs me enough, she will get what she wants. And it's horrible because I'm like, oh, am I rewarding bad behavior? Probably.
Yeah,
Well,
you
she
did the
doesn't like to stay over
margarita.
5. Yes, I
Yeah.
did. It's very delicious. And I did mix one for my husband too. It's funny because it's like lunch, it's like 1 o'clock over here. And so he's working from home. So I'm like, do you want one now? He's like, technically, I'm still working. I'm like, here, I'll pour one for you. You have it when you're ready. He's like, okay, fine. So he's just chilling with his marg. So it's funny because it was like, oh, either Contro or triple sec. And we were trying to find something in between because Contro is like pricey and triple sec, it's like the bottom shelf. So we're like, let's take a step up, like what's in between. And so we found a Mexican imported orange look. Yeah. So it's called naranja, like literally
orange in Spanish.
Orange, yeah.
So it was very tasty, but my husband's like, it's strong. I was like,
Oh yeah, it's
margarita.
so strong.
Like,
It's like alcohol and then some more alcohol and a bit more alcohol and lemon. Like that's margarita
yeah,
for
I
you.
know. Yeah, exactly. And I was keeping an eye out for elderflower because I do love elderflower. I do like it when it adds like a little something extra. So I was keeping an eye out for it. So I'll have to do that next time. But no, I was like, say less. Because then when you have a book of you're like, actually, like,
Yeah,
so
that's like
perfect.
definitely tried with the elderflower. It's my sister got my whole family hooked on margarita because one day she made one, and I had this impression that I don't like margarita at all, and it's because I've only drank like the classic margarita, and that is
Okay.
definitely an acquired taste. Like it's actually salty, like it's a salty cocktail because you have
It
like the salt
is.
on the rim,
Yeah.
and there is absolutely no sugar anywhere, and so don't necessarily have a sweet tooth, but like a salty cocktail is where I draw the line.
It
And so
depends.
when my
Yeah.
sister, when my sister came with like her recipe and I tried, I was like, wait, this is amazing. And you just have to like sweet to be completely tipsy. So like magical.
There you go. Absolutely. I know I'm half Mexican, so I know all about margaritas. Okay, so to get started, can you give like a roundabout summary for people who are listening to the conversation?
Yeah. Of the series or of the third book?
Yeah,
Let-
we might as well do the whole series because you have to
Yeah.
read the first two to follow along with the
You
third one.
really
So
do. Okay.
yeah.
So plant the receipt.
There you go.
I don't know where the paperbacks are, so we're doing with the hardbacks.
There we go.
Okay, so it's the story of Andy and Lex, and she is a very skilled computer engineer, and she gets a new job in a new city for a company that specializes in creating apps and software meant to help people in like marginalized conditions, or what are the terms that I'm looking for, with disabilities. And so she starts and she's so hyped up and pumped up, and she turns out like this is her boss, and he makes a terrible first impression. Like the 31st impressions are very good at all, let's just say. And as the book progresses, like he is the most closed off nerd ever. And as the book progresses, they get closer and he starts to open up. I wouldn't say there is such a strong character development, but I would say that he opens up basically and she realizes who he is and that those first 30 impressions were wrong and that there is more to him. And so they fall into a relationship where they just decide to have fun together because they are highly compatible on many levels, like not just between the sheets, but like intellectually and work-wise, everything. And she has developed to help her brother, who is deaf mute, develop like an app that is basically the Rosetta Stone of sign language, American Sign Language. And it's exactly the kind of app that his company is looking for. And so they acquire it, and it just throws them like close. They have to work together and everything. So that's basically the first book. It doesn't end very well because it was not meant to become anything serious. And of course, it does become serious as time passes. And he gets cooked. I think that's what we can say. Like he ruins it half on purpose. Like he decides like it's an accident, but also it's like, yeah, this was needed. Like we can't keep doing this. And so the first book ends on a last act breakup. I hate to say, I'm sorry, this is spoilery, but also like you guys, if you haven't read it yet, you have to understand why it's trilogy.
We're talking about the last book in a trilogy. I feel like it's okay. I'll just give like a little disclaimer, but like this is a third book. Go pick up the first two, you silly readers. We'll let it out there like that. Yeah.
Exactly. And like this was a 2-minute summary of a long book. So as you can guess, there is so many more things happening there. The second book. Still Andy, still X. And so they kind of get back together. Of course, he's stubborn, but like it's not due to him. Let's just say, like, strict the one perfection. very stubborn and who will not go. Like, not in a pathetic way. It's more like at some point she knows what she deserves, and it's more than what he's giving. And so, anyways, so this book explores them on a deeper level. I feel a lot of people are not very used to like continuous trilogies like this. And so
Right.
when they're done with the first book, sometimes they're like, we don't know much about the characters and everything. But that's normal. Like, we have 3 books to discover them, and we are discovering like, him and her as we go. Like, we can learn more about him as she learns more about him. And so in this third book, it's definitely more character focused. This one, there is still some plot, there is still a lot of things happening, but it really is more of like an introspection for each of them and accepting that this is a relationship that goes beyond what they've known before and that they are like getting into it for the rest of their lives. And so it deals with a lot of insecurities for each of them. She doesn't feel like she deserves that much. Like, it's contradictory because I started saying like she knows what she deserves, but at the same time, she's like, he is rich, he is handsome, he is perfect. Like, I'm never gonna be enough for a man like him. And he has the same views because he was raised by abusive parents and he's neurodivergent, he has autism. And so he never imagined that he could be the right fit for anyone. And so like the book deals with those feelings with an ex that comes back into the picture. Like, all this is very dramatic oriented, but it's more, the first one reads more like a romantic comedy. This one might be a bit more romantic drama, still humor the whole time. And this book ends on, this time it's not a breakup or not of their own volition, let's say, but this book ends him getting arrested by Homeland Security and the FBI. And I'm not going to spoil why. I think we can work around this. But yeah, he ends up getting arrested and it's really bad. And so that's the end of it. Okay, so those are the first 2 books. And now on to the third book. I have Perks of Being the Author. Yeah, it's a bit too dark. Like, I went too dark. All the shades are grayish. It's not very pretty. It's gonna be better. Yeah, it's gonna be better, like the final version. But oh my god, what are those? Are those rings? Are those rings?
It's like, what? Eagle-eyed man saw that so quick.
It's so funny because I shared on the group. I think I shared like just now that was from like
Right.
this, and we could see maybe like this thing, and
Right.
people caught that. They're like, "Is that a ring?" It was on purpose that I left. I was like, "Will some people definitely noticed?" So it's funny
and some people who have been keeping up with your series, they knew that was going there. But it was so fun and validating to see it on the cover. Like, yes.
Yeah, and now that you have read it, you feel that there is a trick to it. And so that's why also I felt
funny.
okay with like putting it on the cover because people, they think it's gonna happen and I still managed to surprise them. So yeah.
Yeah. It was so funny, but it was so their relationship.
Yeah,
for
it
you to
works
do it that
so
way.
well
It was
with
so
them. Yeah,
funny.
it really works for them. Okay, this is the third book. So the book starts with him in prison, so jail, like that. Yeah, jail. That's the difference. Before the trial is jail, after the trial is prison. So he's in jail, and homegirl is not having it. She's like, "What this? Like, we took 2 books, like getting together and making it work and deciding, yeah, this is what we want for the rest of our lives."
That's how you got us at the end of the second book, because my heart broke with him, because he's like, you describe it as he is just almost like slow, like he's dissociating, like he's detached, and he's like seeing it all happen. He's like, no, not that I finally have her. And I remember just being, excuse me, Like, for you, Hannah.
But yeah, like,
Oh,
he knew, like, he's always known that it was a possibility for him to go to jail. Again, not explicitly saying why he went to jail, but he knew it was a possibility. But he thought he was out of the woods, especially now that he has her. Like, no, I would have been fine with it a year ago, but you're calling this to me now.
we're in his point of view, and he's going over like the future that he's imagining with her and his plans and the things that he's putting into place to like have something that he never thought he would ever have, and then rug or ice cold bucket of water, like it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
had to
so
make
mad at
basic
you. I
words.
love you. I love your crazy, beautiful menace. You talented menace.
Just to be clear, like those two books, I love them to bits and everything, but so this one, Henning says, like this one is the story, like this the uniqueness of the whole trilogy, because I feel like the first one especially very much reads like a workplace rom-com, and it's not extremely like singled out in the way it is, but I think the trilogy as a whole that makes it very unique. You get a rom-com, you get a romantic drama, and you get a romantic like suspense. Almost like it just grows, and that's why
Yeah.
also I wanted the colors to
Yeah.
grow. I don't where I can use the omnibus. Sorry, I'm gonna also once more show my privileged ass. But so it starts with the day, and then we get like sunset, and then we get and it's meant like this way. Not only like the evolution of their relationship, we also see that like the book gets darker as like
I love it.
evil.
I love it. Absolutely. I know, because I was doing like the drink video and trying to talk about the whole three. And I was like, okay, the first one is like workplace romance, not enemies, like to lovers, right? Like it's like banter, like they butt heads a lot because Lex is like, she is just not like word vomit. She's word vomit, stands up for herself, and she doesn't bite her tongue or anything. And he's just like, excuse, like, wait, what? Like he doesn't not dealt with anybody like her. But then the second book, it's like second chance romance. That's why what I said earlier, it's like it's standalone, like interconnected standalone romances where it's like they have a collection of tropes, but you gotta use the same couple to address a bunch of different tropes. And I thought it was so fun to just follow that love story, but because it is like almost like so close to real life, like one couple absolutely can go through all of these things across a span of 18 months or like a year, not even like it's condensed for them because they're both intense, like they're
and they're soulmates, like
stuff.
Yes, and they just know like they're it for one another, and like so many second chance romances out there, but quite often we start with them, they have already split up, and we have the story of how they make it work this time. And for those books, that we have the story of like from literally the moment they first see each other when they meet, and how they grow together, and then how they break up, and then how they make that work again. And I think those books are so long also because I really want to feel real and natural, the evolution of their things, because yes, it goes quite fast overall, but when you read it, it feels real. Like the how things evolve and how like it makes sense that they grow feelings for one another and everything makes sense. And I actually needed that to get super intense and super close together in the first two books so that this book can happen, because so like it starts, he is in jail and it's not looking good at all for him. And she is not having it because she knows that if he doesn't get out, like she's going to spend the rest of her life just regretting him and thinking of the life they should have had and everything. And still homegirl does whatever she has to do to get him out, basically. And it works and he comes out. Okay. And it's a bit rocky at first because those walls he had in the first book that she took some time tearing down, like they went all the way up again. And so for a few chapters, it's a bit rocky. It's a bit back to the basics of, him not communicating and anything. But then, of course, it gets better again. And they think they're out of the woods, but mind you, we're like mentioned to the book at this point. So my friends are not out of the woods. And anyhow, like there is a danger lurking in the shadows. Again, that is because of what he did that got him put in jail and arrested. And that danger is waiting for them. And basically, they spend the book fighting for that life that they want together and for their freedom and for their lives. Well, we can say that. I did post it in my spoiler post, like carousel on Instagram. Someone does get shot at. I
And you
will not say more.
last conversation that we had, and I was like, I did not expect who did. I did not, because I was like, I remember my jaw dropped when you said that during our chat. And then once I read it, I was like, that I did not see that person being the subject of that incident. Like, I was like, oh, and then it was just like, oh, and that just adds to like, because Lex is having a hard time. He is struggling with, like, he can't accept that there's this person that would do all of this for him. And then he is like, because he doesn't feel he's deserving, and he can't believe that there's someone who would do that. Like, and he can't believe that he found like the one person, the one woman who like fulfills his every fantasy and he can't say no to, and who feels the exact
It's
same
such a
way
stupid-
about him. He is. I love it. I
Yeah.
love Simplex. She feels the exact same way, where she is like, no, I don't think I can live without you. I do not, like, I can't. I'm not going to sit by and wait for this to possibly unfold. And she meddled.
And she,
To put it lightly, she meddled.
Yeah, she meddles. Oh, like the book, like the side character. You need to be like, she is the hero of this book. He's the sidekick. Okay, like he follows. He's like, you're gonna do it anyways, so I'm coming along because that way at least I can make sure you're safe. But yeah, it's a very intense relationship in what they have, and he would die for her. He would kill for her. I know, like in a dark romance kind of vibe. It really, if he killed, like, he would think it through so much that he would still do it, and he would do all for her. But also, it hurts him. This awareness that the sentiment goes both ways, and so she could die for him, and it's just so hard for him to like
And
place it.
that scares him so much too. He's like, no, I don't want her to risk that.
Yeah,
Even though he's like, oh shit, like,
yeah, like he's completely aware that he would die for her. Or he would do anything possible for her, but it puts him like great distress, the awareness that she would do the same. And at some point, it's like, when there's a selfish relationship to like stay with her, when literally die for me, like if I really love her more than anything and I need to protect her, the best thing is just to break up with her.
you got
That
so
way she,
meta about it, and I loved it. It was so beautiful and poetic, because it was like he was at war with himself, and Andy was just like she was past that. She was like made up her mind. She was like, no, don't you dare make decisions for me. I'm going to do this because we know that this is what needs to happen. I love where you went. I love Andy as a character, and like these are
she's very impulsive. Like from the first book, like that's who she is. She's impulsive. There is some character growth, but at some point you are who you are as your core, and you can grow, but you also, there is like this idea that people never really change, and this is who she is. And she does work on it. Max manages to sometimes calm her down and talk her out of things. But at the same time, like if it were her, she snaps, she does whatever comes into her head. Whereas Dex is the kind of person that sits back and thinks about things for the longest time before he can decide to act on things. And that's also why, like in the first book, their dynamic is like, so because he goes head first into things, and he just has to not even make up his mind, but go through every scenario and decide, yeah, okay,
yeah, she's this tiny little thing with like the person of my dreams, and she's like, what? He's like, what? Like not only is she like perfect physically and intellectually for him, like everything he wants, but she's just as fierce. Like because even that he says, he's like, you feel things so strongly, you feel things so fiercely, but also it's like, oh, and I'm a part of that. He's like, you feel that for me. Like he still needs to catch up. And so I love it though. And oh God, we're gonna get into it, but like the whole this may or may not be spoiler territory, but like the whole pregnancy scare. And where she was like straight up, you spent a couple pages where she's just like, fuck, how do I feel about this? How do I feel about this? Like, what do I want? And it was just like, I don't know if it's just because I already connected with these characters, which is why it's like a trilogy. Like by this time, like we're in it, like we are invested in Andy and Lex's story. But like we're, I don't know, because like I have two boys and like I never, confession, I never wanted to be a mom. I never wanted kids because I just know the type of personality I have. And I also respect and know the responsibility and everything that comes along with having children. So it was like, with her internal struggle, it was just like, you definitely, I felt, at least for this reader, I felt that connection that you wanted to have with readers to like really touch on that, because that is such a huge part of her love for him and the implication of their future together, because they did want babies together. She was like, I'm going to have 89 of his babies. And he was like, I could see a few, like, not like things that I never thought I could want. I could see it with her. Like he was like imagining it with her, even though he never thought ever, like he had already accepted that he probably would never ever had that or need that or anything. But then it's like that changes. And then she's like, we already know that by book 3. And then when she's having that internal battle with herself, and like I was, oh my gosh, that's why I said you stepped it up. You went there. You like, no matter how long it took you to get this book out, don't worry. Like, where as impatient as your readers are, it's a good thing. That just means like we want it now, and like don't feel too. Obviously, you felt pressure, but it was like it took the time that it took because of what you wanted to make sure that you did and did it right. And it was just like that was one of the things where I was like, oh my God, like I was right there with her. I was like, I know, Andy, I know. It's like, oh, like, you know
Yeah,
what
a bit more context, and that happens when Lex is still in jail and the trial is still like gonna happen and it's still not looking good. And she has this dilemma basically where she thinks she's pregnant, but she can't decide if she wants the test to be positive or negative, because it'd be her chance to have Lex's child. Because if he loses the trial, like I said, there is no conjugal visits in federalism. So she would never get to have his child. But at the same time, it's like, what kind of life would that be for us? Like for Lex, who get to see like his child grow like 1 hour every week. Like it's just a horrible dilemma where no matter what the results are, she's losing something like in both options. She feels so alone in the whole scene. And it was originally, it was a whole last chapter. They had to like take it down, like cut it in half at
and
least, so I
respect for
could
you
fit
for
it in the
having to cut
book.
that down. Yeah, seriously.
That yeah, I really wanted to keep it because it's a fan favorite from back in the days where it was published online. I had to keep this scene because yeah, it's so intense and so important, and like yeah, the struggle of like
Because it
dilemma
wasn't so
of there is no good answer.
it's so
Yes.
real, where it's like, oh, I want a piece of him, but then what kind of life that would be, that exactly. But then if it's not, like maybe that's a good thing, but then I would have no piece of him. Like it was like it like, oh, like how did you make this happen? How did you hit us in all these feels? Like this is where I love interviewing authors, because I'm like, I got a bone to pick with you for making me feel things, because like seriously. And that's why I love this. I think this is the first couple romantic story that spans 3 books for me. And I'm like I said, like I wasn't sure how to feel about it. And I was mad at the end of the first book. I was like, wait a second. But then I was like, oh my God, I love Andy and Lex are like one of my top 2 favorite characters. I don't think Lex, he would make the Facebook boyfriends list if I wasn't so loyal to Andy. Like, no, you can't touch him. I can't touch him. I can't
Yeah.
fantasize about him. He's like a closet, like a swoony guy. Like, it's so cute. I love that we see it because it's through Andy's eyes, right? Like, it's because through her perspective, because it's a very treasured thing to see him like that.
And that's the thing that I love so much about them. Let's be honest, like Andy, if she had never met like she could have met Ollie, she could have been very happy with Ollie. Like they could have made a life together. She wouldn't have been as intensely in love and intensely happy and everything, but she could have made it out there easily. She's like such a lovable and open, and like she could have but like this is the one person on the whole planet that could have ever have like broken down barriers and been like perfect enough for him so that he would let go of, again, like the idea that he didn't want a family, kids, he didn't want a serious relationship. Like we know that he had women friends because he has these and everything, but he has never been like he is with Andy. Like even with like the ex we meet in the second book, that he was not with her, they were seeing each other for 4 years and they were childhood friends and everything. And even with her, he wasn't anywhere near the way he is with Andy. Like he needed her in his life for his life to make sense, basically.
Yeah.
And I think it's like really beautiful that, and he even is the one sometimes was like thinking, Jesus, like she should leave because yes, she's so happy with me, but at the same time, I make her so miserable all the time. Through, like, even if it's my fault or not, like she's been so miserable.
She's like, don't you dare make these decisions for me, bitch.
Yeah,
like, she's like,
very decided.
I love that they're like, okay, we'll go off on tangents, but with her and her grandmother, with Maria Carmen, with MC, I loved, like, aside from the fact that you did her wrong, but in the conversations that she has, she's like, how am I going to give up the best dick I've ever had? She's like, don't you taunt me, you insulting child. Like, I love that. Because Lex is like, no, if anything, she's going to be the one leaving me. And she's like, nah, he's like joking around. But it was like the depth there. And it's so adorable because that's like just hearing you talk about that, like reminds me of where everybody around them sees. Like, yes,
yeah,
they are it for each other. They've all but said, you are it for me. But they're straight up very clear with this. As troubling and as at war as like Andy is so sure what she wants and what she's doing. Lex is like, it takes him a while to get there, but it takes her being like, fine, I'm done, for him to be like, no, like, don't. Like,
sure.
she's usually not insecure, or she is insecure like a tad bit, but not when it comes to him. But then when she was like trying to tempt him, and she thinks, oh, nothing's working. But when we get to his point of view, it's like, oh, he is fighting for his life. Like
he was struggling there.
he's like yelling at his dick to be like, no. Like,
yeah, I know. He's trying to, that's when he comes out of jail. And sorry, the cat. And she is trying everything she can think of to like get herself some dick. And no, because like I said, like the walls, they are all the way up again, and she needs to tear them down. And she tries the best way she thinks can work, especially since they called like that the line of communication that have opened and that was like going so well with them talking and having no secrets and everything. Like it's broken at this point, and so she's trying everything she can to tempt him. And yeah, she's confident it's not working. When we get to Lex, it's working so well. But again, he's such a cerebral person that he just manages to talk himself out of it all the time. But yeah.
are you doing math right now?
Yeah. But
like, it's what's so attractive about him, not just because like he's so sexy, but like I love it when male, like the love interest, like they're so sure of themselves and they're so like, not to say that Lex is super sure of himself, but obviously he's got his shit together for the most part. But then something comes in and throws them for a loop where they're in unfamiliar territory. And I love seeing the ruthless and confident male character go through it. I love seeing that. And it was, you put him through all 3 books, but I loved like where because she's thinking like, oh my God, nothing's working. And even she's got Mason into it, which is like, again, her boy Mason. And then he's like, girl, it's 'cause you're losing too much weight. You don't got that booty no more. And then she's like, oh, fuck, like,
Yes, that's
and
the
it,
end.
I know, right? Because he's going through his mind like, oh, I have to detach myself. I have to distance myself. I have to make her realize we're not good for each other. And this is not the best for either of us, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, she doesn't see it that way. She knows the risks. She knows the stakes. And she's just like, no, like, are you kidding me? Like, I did all this for you. I'm not going to back down now. Like, bro.
Like she's super impulsive, and so from the way he sees it, he's like, she did it again, and she went way too far this time. And he's like, no, I knew exactly what I was doing. Like, I don't care. I was good at it.
He even he looked over her work and he was like, oh, fuck. Like, she covered her tracks. She did everything right. And she did it like, and even if he couldn't go higher with how high he thought of her, it went higher. Like,
Yeah,
because he already thought like, oh my God, I have to have her. Because with her app,
it's
she
like,
did it.
it's like I have finally found an equal out there in this world. And then the third book is like, no, she's actually greater than me. Like, she's not my equal. She's my superior.
And she's like, yeah, I just taught Iris how to do it. Like, what?
No biggie.
She's like, I don't want this to take 4 months. I want it to take 4 weeks.
On him
Like,
right now. And honestly, she was right, because when you see like the state he is in, just like coming out after
yeah.
however long he spent in prison to keep it free, yeah, she did good to like get done so quickly, because there would not have been much left of him otherwise.
And I love, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could do a non-romance suspense because the way that you connect to characters and get into characters, like processes and psyche and the intimacy of readers getting to know and connecting to characters, you have such a knack for it. Like, because you did say, oh, the third book's going to be darker. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean, Anna? And then once I got it, I was like, oh. But you did it so well. Seriously, I like, if anything you take away from your experience, I know that like you love writing the spicy romance, but if you ever wanted to venture out, you could totally do it. You've got like, you know how to feed things and lead the readers on and like make it happen, and storytelling and all that. You know how to do it.
Thank you. I might one day. Plus, like, I love horror movies and stuff like that. So maybe one day, science fiction. I love science fiction movies. So maybe one day I'll write like a program.
Like, yeah, you could still do romance as like a subplot, but like, because if you want to scratch that itch, but you like whatever, the world is your oyster. And I'm like just advocating for that because I love you have a talent, and I love your writing. I love your storytelling, and I love Lex and Andy. And like, I know they're your babies, but I feel like, oh my God, I've been following you for like this whole like little journey. And like, I'm discovering you through Up the Ladder. So that's why I told you, it was like, no, when you're ready to continue with that series, to continue with that little universe, I will start my collection there. Oh, again, like, I don't know if there's any plans for you to do, but you could totally like make this in the same universe with your, what is it, Love in Boston or something like that.
When Brooklyn.
Yeah, I want Love in Boston. Close.
Dang,
Like, they do spend some time in New York, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I bet you could like just be like, oh, Lex and Andy do a little cameo.
I considered it. I considered them because in New York, I was like, what if they got tattoos? Or what if they live for like one of the best and all? Yeah. And so I was like, maybe they could go get a tattoo at the parlor. But I was like, I don't have, the word count is already through those, like, I'm not adding to it.
Little novella, little side story, little special. Yeah. Oh, because would Lex ever get a tattoo?
No, for her, yes. Like, she can talk him into anything. Like, literally, I can't think of a single thing that he wouldn't do for her. Like, if she asked kindly enough. Like,
he would volunteer as a clown at a children's hospital.
Yeah, like she could, like honestly could. She could convince him of pretty much anything. And he would very reluctantly, like ultimately, she could convince him to do that, but she also knows he would be miserable the whole time. She doesn't want it
I feel
to
like
be
yeah.
miserable. So she would never push him to be a clown at the children's hospital. But push comes to shove, she can do it. That's the moral of the story. And girls, if you are listening, this is the kind of man that you want for yourself. Okay?
Yeah. I think that part of it was like, I want a man who's so obsessed with me. Like, I love my husband, but he's like not a fictional boyfriend. He's not a fictional husband. He's like, honey, no. Like, it's it's I was like, oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I'm always amazed that people want my books that much. And it's complicated because this Kickstarter is like, it's the third one I'm doing now. And I'm not making much money out of it because I always I feel bad for people spending that much money on my books.
Well, no,
And
it's
with
helping you fund and it's like, you got to look at the
yeah,
non-monetary stuff. It's helping you
but
fund
it is.
liberty.
But basically,
Yeah.
after I paid my editor and the cover artist and whatever else I did,
All
I
cost so
have
much money. Yeah.
$200 left because I feel like, again, it's good that I get to pay for all those things, but basically I feel bad that people spend so much money on my works and so I put so many things in the packages all the time, and I try to
Don't
keep the
feel bad.
constant.
You're perfect so much. They know what they're getting. You outlined what they're getting, and they're like, yes, please. Like, don't feel bad. I know, because you're like so humble and amazing, but like, accept a little rock star status. That's why I would accept a little rock star status, because you've earned it, I would say,
Oh,
personally.
that's just
Uh,
thanks.
It's okay. And like, I imagine like the monotonous assembly line tasks where it's like, you could listen to a book, or you could listen to a podcast, you could listen to music, you could watch a
I've been
show,
rewatched
all putting
Smallville.
together your little packages. Oh, Smallville. Oh my God, you would
Yeah.
get along with my husband. He was like all about that for like a while.
But okay, so I finished
I
writing
think
the
you were
book.
the last time we chatted, like a year ago. You're like, oh, I'm just catching up on Smallville. Like,
Yeah, they added to Netflix, so it was on top of everything.
there you
And
go.
so, like, I finished writing the book, and so it wasn't that long ago. Okay, I finished writing it, rereading it, and sending it like to my editor. And then I was like, now I can dive into like the graphics side of thing because as an indie author, I do everything myself. I only outsource what I really cannot do because like if I tried editing everything myself, it wouldn't be quality what like would take a serious dip, even though my editor says that my manuscripts are immaculate. She really loves
The
working
book
with
that
me
you
because
sent me, you're like, oh, this is before it went to the editor. I'm like, really? Because I might have found like one or two typos and one like misname in the epilogue, but I'm sure that you guys found it.
that's
So
fixed.
yeah, I understand like it might be distracting if it's not edited, but like it was seriously like, it was great. It was like I agree with your editor. Like all she had to read and catch a couple things and whatever.
I could save like $1,800 and just not have an editor. I actually work
Maybe,
working with
or
Katie.
yeah,
She's amazing. I would rather work with her because she does find hundreds of things on like of comments, of typos, of like so many things. So I definitely feel like it's worth it, and I would never like use AI for that sort of thing.
oh yeah, oh
Um,
my God.
like it's becoming a thing more, and at this point, like the one that and the cover are the one things where I do spend money on the books, and usually within a month on like Amazon or whatever, I do make up the money that I do spend like on editor and cover. Plus the Kickstarter and everything, I can get good pretty quickly. And so I say this from a privileged place because I know that I have enough readers to allow myself to pay for things. Like I do realize that I won't even say that I got lucky because I did work very hard on getting my name out there and on posting and on everything. So it wasn't luck, it was hard work. but it did pay off. Now I'm able to
That's
have
how I
it
found just you posting stuff. And I think
nonstop.
I had been seeing, like, it was mostly when you were like bumping up, you were promoting Up the Ladder. And I think like I had seen it and I got interested and I was like, oh, that seems like something I would enjoy. And then I kept seeing it. I kept seeing it and then I was like, okay, I think I was like, I had a couple drinks. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get this. Like, I'm gonna buy it. And then I read it and I was like, oh my God. Like this, I like clicked and I was like, ooh, I will read a manuscript. I will read a fucking food menu written by you. I just like, I appreciate your style and I love that you like, it's not just a love story, but it's like you go deeper than that. Like you get the character. Cause even just like when I read like about Jake and Genevieve's story was heartbreaking. And like you just went so deep with it and how Jake was like unapologetically like, no, this is bullshit. Like with her family and all that. And it was like, and then his co-owners of the bar or something like that, or of the tattoo shop. Yeah. Like his two friends, it was like, oh, I want their stories too. You know what I mean? So it was like you have a good base and I'm like so excited to see whatever ideas you have after that. Seriously. Like I could tell like you're not only pour your heart into this, but you are talented about it. And I love it. I was just like, and this is just me. Cause like whatever connection, whatever crack you put into your words, like it's like whatever connection that's like, it worked on me. And it was seriously like I up the ladder before the desire variable. And then I was like, oh my God, really? I was like, oh, is it like a 3-piece couples story? And then I was like, oh my God, I can't get enough of Andy and Lex. Like, I love them so much. I love them so much.
No, we can share them. They can be our babies or like, and that's how like what you said about Lex not being a book boyfriend because like he could never be anyone's boyfriend other than Andy. Like he is absolutely perfect for her. And I 100% never viewed either of them like I never viewed like sexually or anything. Like he is my baby, and I don't fantasize about him. I
But your
might,
baby, you make sure he feels things and sees things and has his woman.
yeah, like I would never work out for him. Like he needs Andy, and that's it. And so, but I've always thought it was actually funny, like this book boyfriend thing. People like genuinely would like this person as their boyfriend or whatever. And I'm like, but are you what he needs?
Exactly.
And so
you're not a fictional person, right? Like you're not built for this to be compatible with this personality.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it works on characters that are a little more like cardboard cutouts, like Dallas One or Another Steel. Like those characters are very bland on purpose so that the reader, like anybody, like not anybody, but so many people could work with Christian Grey. Like so many people could be Anastasia Steele.
Or inexperienced or I don't know. Like I don't know. I haven't read
that fits for so many people. Yeah, she doesn't have much going on for herself.
But Andy is like, no, she likes sex and she is unapologetically. I remember when in the first book, she was like, good thing that you're not paying me right now. It's during lunch hour. Oh, it's like, girl,
like that's her Mexican genes, I'm going to say. Like like the hot temper, like she can go off and she is very, she's like unapologetic and she's intense. She's very intense and she is very loving also and intense about the ones she loves. And that is not everyone. And she's also so strong in this third book. Like
she's a kind person. She cares about people, but she's just like, it's like almost like tough love, right? She's like, she would fight almost just as hard for Mason or for Ollie or for Tammy or for her family. She like just what we saw with Maria Carmen. She was like, no, absolutely not. You are not keeping me from this situation right now. Like she just is so fierce. Like that's why I'm like, I just want to be their best friend. I want to be in their circle. I want to be their homie. I want to be like, that's why I was like, oh, no, I would follow her. I would follow her battle. I would
Yeah,
say
and like I
absolutely.
just said, I don't use them like sexually, but if you offer me like a chair in the corner while they're doing their thing, I will gladly take it and watch because that's where the magic happened. Like the magic would not happen with me thrown in the middle. They need to do their thing, and I need to be on the other side of the room watching because that's how it happens.
Taking notes like
Yeah. Okay. Oh.
okay. About book 3 specifically, what were the most challenging parts to write? What were the most enjoyable parts to write?
Good question. So I realized that, so no, I actually know that I get bored very easily. And so everything is going great between them and it's like happy and cute and everything. I struggle with those moments because I get bored and I'm like, just keep writing. And then like you can like just break the rug from under everyone's
I'd have
feet
to give
and
you
then
that
have
enough.
fun again. Like, yeah, drama comics right around the corner. Just keep writing and then you're going to have your fun. So I feel like, yeah, that would be the challenging part. Because, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like the pregnancy scare and like very dramatic, very intense things, like they come to me relatively easily. Like, I like writing them, like, exploring the characters, Saki, and what they would say, what they would do, would think in those moments. Like that really flies. The words fly off the page when I to those moments. So there is that, and I think of like one of my favorite parts. It's often like most the more like technical aspects of stuff. Like I love having to do research for the books. And like we friends are in jail for part of the story. And so I'm like, and it comes to visit him. And so like, hey, how does visitations work?
Did you
And
visit
so
people in jail to see how that was?
no, because if I did, it would be in France and it's not the same thing at all
It's very different
in
in
the
American
US, you know?
jail.
Yeah, and
Oh,
it's
I love
also like it's a federal prison and everything. And so I went to the actual prison's website and I downloaded like their manual, like how to come and visit. And I read the whole thing. And it was so
That's what made
interesting
you
to me.
take longer to write this book. Just
Yeah,
reading the whole manual for the federal prison.
yeah. But and it's so stupid because like all this and I love reading all this. And then like it's like
And
half
it's
a
like 4
sentence.
pages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's it. Like 2 hours of research for like this in the book.
and just
Um,
so you know, that's very common among the people that I interview.
yeah.
They do all this research, they get sucked down rabbit hole, and then it's like 2 sentences.
Yeah,
Like,
and
it's
I
like,
feel like
yeah.
that's why I love writing so much also because I have ADHD, like it's undiagnosed, but at this point I do not need a diagnosis. Like I don't need
Well, not
a
to like want
professional to
medication.
let me know.
No, I got diagnosed with ADHD like 5 years ago. My therapist that I saw, she was like, just from talking to you and the way you talk and your this, she's like, I think you have undiagnosed ADHD. Talk to your medication nurse. And I was like, because I've been diagnosed with depression. I've known I have depression. I guess, well, because anxiety and depression, a lot of symptoms cross over. But I've had this since I was like 13, 14. And I've been in and out of that. So it was like, so I like the therapist I'm seeing now, but she was also like, it's funny because she's from Poland. So she's got that blunt European delivery. And it's like, she cares about you, but she's just like, she gives it to you straight. And she's like, no, if you don't want me, that's okay. Just let me know now. Like, if you don't want to work with me, that's fine. But like, I would talk to her. She knows about how I feel about my children and how I feel about life and how when we're done with kids, but when we were still thinking about a third. And she's like, what do you think? You think he's going to be better as a middle child? She like looking like, listening to how I complain about my second born. She's like, what, you gonna be pregnant with a messy toddler? Like, what do you think? And I'm like, okay, you're so right. Like, but that's an example where she's giving it to you
Super
straight.
blunt,
She
yeah.
gives it to you straight. Like, yeah. And it's because and I tell her this too. I was like, no, like I know that you care about me, but you're like, bitch, think about it. Like, but I love it. And it's so funny. So that's why I'm like, oh, like, so no, undiagnosed ADHD for women is so common because that's what she was like. I think you have undiagnosed ADHD. And it was like, once I heard it explained to me again, that was like really comforting. I was like, oh, there's a label and there's an explanation for it. Because I was like, oh, you're a perfectionist. So you don't, when you learn about something, you don't even want to approach it if you're not going to do it great. Or you had a hard time because they were asking, like, one of the symptoms is, are you able to relax? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, 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 and like, if I sit on the couch, I'm reading. If I don't have a book to read, I'm doom scrolling. Or even if I'm sitting and watching a show, like catching up on a show that I care about, I still might get distracted. Like I want to do something else. So I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, that what you mean? It was like, what do you mean by relax? Is watching a TV show relaxing? Is reading a book relaxing? Doing nothing? Like I'm like, so I'm like, what do you? And then it's just like things you learn about. So it was really long-winded tangent. It's okay. You probably have undiagnosed
Yeah,
ADHD and
I
you're
honestly,
manifesting it in your creativity. And I love it.
yeah, and I mean, again, like I could get diagnosed, but at this point, it's a waste of time and money because I have had that like left where I started something and then I started something else and then
And
up.
there's some things like
So
maybe you need some medication, but then again,
I,
it's like if you're fine.
yeah, honestly, I've learned to work around it and I enjoy the hyper focus of things. Like I get to,
Yeah.
and what I love so much about writing is the first time I have found something that I feel like I can keep doing forever. Because let's say I get decide to write something about a woman who's like crap, I don't know the word, but like who studies volcanoes, learns so much about volcanoes. Like I can like it can become like hyperfixation for a while where I'm like, oh, volcanoes are actually so cool. And or like it can be minerals, like it can be so many different things. And I get to throw myself into a new passion, like through my characters. And I find it interesting. I have a story that surrounds the old Norse legends and the Norse mythology and the
That's
Vikings
so
and all
cool.
of this. And it's like so much fun to be able to learn about Vikings and Norse legends and stuff like that. It's really like writing really has opened that door for me to like explore so many different interests while still honing like the same craft and using this pen name that I've made for myself to like keep living off of it. And
Yeah.
it's really been like such a nice revelation for me, like an epiphany of like, yeah, this is perfect for me. And I
I
love
would read
making.
I would read you writing a story about Andy and Lex in Norse mythology.
I'm sorry to say, Lex, that is the end. I will not be revealing them because that was their story. This is where I want
Yeah.
to take them, and I don't want to beat a dead horse.
No, absolutely.
What's the saying?
Yeah, yeah,
People
American saying is, yeah, look a gift horse in the
from a
mouth
dead
or
horse.
beat a dead horse
Yeah,
or something like that. Like, I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're
So
saying.
and I don't want to like keep. And I've explored them. Like we know them in and out, like the back of our hands, a bit more than the rest of the readers. But like, okay, I've known them. Like I said, I get bored very easily. Again, the ADHD is like right there. So
No, like,
I'm
you
very much
maxed
done with
out.
them.
You maxed out.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But no, I
Don't
could
need to pay
tell,
anyone.
like, without spoiling again, like, I could tell, like, with the epilogue, anybody would look at that and be like, oh my God, this is such a long epilogue. But I could tell that you did, like, you didn't want to let them go. And I would continue reading Andy and Lex 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I would read them forever. It was so cute. I was like, you're creating unrealistic standards of 15 years married or 15 years together. And they're still like, I want to eat you out when we wake up. Like, that's unrealistic. Okay.
It's, yeah, it's a fusion. It's the traditional
But it was like, if
version of
I was married to
everything.
Lex and if I was like Andy, if it was like perfect like that, yeah, okay, of course. Like, of course. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I feel like we do get the idea of they're still very in love, very into one another, then like circumstances
Oh
around
my
them hit
God.
harder.
I
They're-
need to,
yeah.
okay, if it's ever in your idea brain, like your brain list, I need character art of their family. And that's what I want.
Yeah.
If that's what I, yeah, exactly. It's like, don't fixate on me and my needs and my wants, but I would say I will vote for character art of their family because that's fucking adorable. Fucking
You want that.
adorable. Like, how are you gonna do that to us?
Maybe one day we shall see. Maybe I will do a little, like few extra scenes. Like, okay, so what you read as the epilogue actually just going to be a bonus scene. It will be in the book, but it will be labeled as a bonus scene. And the last chapter is actually going to become the epilogue because it wraps things up a bit better. And I also like this, like you said, the bonus scene is very long. And I want people to feel free to just stop reading if that's point that like, yeah, okay, I get the point with this. Let's move on to another book. And so that's why it's going to be about, I don't think many people would skip it. I think it's because it's very rare to have like a trilogy like this that is continuous on on the same characters, 3 books, and that are also quite long, to be honest, each of them. And yeah, children and family and marriage and everything is an end goal, but it's not the art of the trilogy. Basically, I didn't want to take them from nothing to this pandemic. I wanted to take them through like the ups and downs of falling in love with someone like this and trying to make it work with who you are and who they are, and finding like in yourself to learn to love themselves through those books. Like that's mostly the second book. They have to learn to love themselves to understand why the other one loves them this much. And to learn like, yeah, okay, this is real. Okay, he loves me this much because I'm fucking amazing. And he loves my body because my body is amazing. Like and they needed that both ways. Like, and the insecurities are more like on the physical level, and Lex's insecurities are more like emotional and mental.
Yeah.
But they needed, that's exactly the second book. Like, they need to learn to love themselves, to understand what's going on there, and to accept what's going on.
And as the reader, we know what's going to happen. We're just like, get there. Like, we're there, the mixture is there, the circumstances, everything is there. We know they're going to get there, and we're just, get there.
Yeah, but I think it's also important to maybe, as a reader, do this and use it as a lesson of like, of learning to like self-love and learning also what is acceptable or not in a relationship and how someone should love you, basically. I've seen...
I don't know, you're setting the bar high though.
Yeah. And to this extent, it's me. But what was it the other day? I saw someone on Instagram. She was like, story time, and she was telling people about the guy that they're monogamous, non-committed, temporary relationship, like some stuff like that. And he told her, you're not my type, my body type, but we will try because and so they never slept together because he wasn't attracted to her body. And she has the most normal, average, good body you could think of. And so I'm like, what was he into? Like this kind of body? What was the I know, because it's not missing a leg or that, like, it was so weird. And she
No,
was like making
yeah.
excuses. And I'm like, I want to show people that in my books that there is
You know, like
someone
how many
out there.
men like will love your body, like seriously, right? Like,
Yeah, like you can find like, yeah. And I want to show that out there is someone that is perfectly tailored to you. And you just have to find that. And you can't settle for anything less than this, because
that you made that very
that is,
clear in book 2. Like where Lex was like, no, like you are what I want. He's like,
Yeah.
this is where I first realized I am a man, and I was looking at a body type that is you. Like, I love that. I love that because it was so simple where he's like, no, like all you have to do is just stand there and I want you. You know, it's just like,
yeah.
and then,
And
and that's what made it, yeah, that was what made it so funny when she was trying so hard to just like reconnect with him on a physical level. And she thought, oh my God, he doesn't want me. And he was like, when we get to his point of view, he's like, oh, she did this, and then she did this, and then she did this. Oh my fucking God. Like he was like cataloging everything, every step that she took, every decision that she took. He knew what she was doing. And he was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like he was fighting for his life.
Well, I mean,
He
next.
was like, I loved it. I loved it. It's like those like little like again where you put your self assured male like main characters, you throw them for a loop. You put them in a situation where they're like, oh shit. Like I love it. I love it.
Yeah, like Lex is in this situation a lot during this book. Like, and is just like peering on and like she keeps going and it's like, oh,
I know. Oh my God. I love it. I love it so much. I'm gonna do this to you. I'm gonna ask you how your characters would wash the dishes. How would Andy wash the dishes? Wash the dishes. How would Ollie wash the dishes? How would Mason wash the dishes?
Okay.
Like they come home and there's a sink full of dishes. How would they handle it?
Mason would not handle it right now. He would do it like the day after. Like Mason is a messy queen. He would mess for another day.
my best friend.
Yeah, no, that's like he wouldn't. Yeah, no. And like, okay, we're gonna do Mason. Then Ollie would do it really as it comes, where he finishes cooking and he does it a bit as he goes, and then like by the time his plate is ready, he doesn't have much to do with it, and then he washes everything else. And Andy, I feel like she's got that laziness in her to like not want to do it right away, and so let it sit for a moment. So then she also gets the
Oh shit.
yeah, the not the post-traumatic syndrome of disorder of like being in a Mexican household and risking the check if she doesn't do the dishes that she will ask for. And so I feel
love
like
how
she
you're
would
like friends like Mexican culture. I love it.
yeah, like she would not want to do it. And then like it's in the back of her mind of like, oh,
Yeah.
the
You know
sink
she
is
would have
full, the
to.
sink is full. Yeah, and like she gets up and she does it, but she also knows that if she doesn't do it now, she's gonna have to scrub harder because everything is gonna get dry. Like she's more out of like
Yes.
because of her education, but otherwise she would probably be more like Mason in the like that's tomorrow.
That's
And
what I'm
for
looking
Lex,
for. You know how
Lex
your
is
character
more
should do the
intense.
dishes.
Yeah.
Oh, Lex, yeah. Like, oh, we saw that when he got into his cave, his man cave, and he was like,
Exactly. Like Lex would so like he have a shirt to be fair, but there wouldn't be like yeah, by the time he's like everything is organized and ready to go or whatever. Yeah, that's how it would go.
I love it. I love it because that was like one of the authors that I interviewed recently, and I asked her specifically like, how do you write a character from a point of view different from your own? And she said, I imagine how they would wash the dishes. How would my character wash the dishes? And I'm like, that is so fun and smart. Like, So that's why I was like, how would Lex wash the dishes? How would Mason wash the dishes? Like, yeah,
That's a
and
good
absolutely. Mason
question.
would be like, Mason is a messy bitch. He would be like,
Yeah,
that's for
Mason,
another day.
honestly, I feel like he would do dishes when he starts being out of like plates and mugs and stuff like that.
When
Like,
it,
that's
when
when
it's
he's like,
piling
oh,
up,
I need
and
to do the dishes.
I
You
gotta
know?
do it. And Lex would
Yeah.
be like, this is not acceptable. He'd be like, he'd see one dish in the sink and be like, this is not acceptable. Like, this is just,
Yeah, or like Lex would be the kind of person when dishwasher is done, like he is there, he's emptying it like straight away.
okay, I'm gonna ask this. What 3 items would Andrea bring to a desert island? What 3 items would Lex bring to a desert island?
Lex would take a bucket of sunscreen, let's be honest. And then he would take something smart, like, are they there voluntarily or not? They want to be on that island. Did their plane crash?
Oh, no.
Or do they want to be there and they can be rescued
That's-
anytime?
So it's just hypothetical, right? Like anytime anybody asks you, oh, what would you take on a deserted island? Hypothetical, what would Lex choose? What would Andy choose?
Yeah, okay. So Lex would get a satellite phone. Again, like he's too pragmatic to have one. He would want a bucket of ice cream, of sunscreen. The bucket of ice cream.
Ice
would be
cream,
more
I
like
would
Andy
like that.
fan.
I love that.
Yeah, and they would do that. And okay, a bucket of sunscreen, a bucket of margarita, and a satellite phone for Lex. Okay. For Andy, it's harder. She would want food, but then like I'm trying to think of the kind of food she could take with them with her, like
Well, feral
take it a
raccoon.
match. Yeah, like she wouldn't want.
She'd be like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, no, she would definitely be the kind to like want to do some snorkeling. So maybe some of that. Like she would not necessarily see it as a bad thing, especially like if she's with Lex, like she knows he's got it covered. So she just want to end it. She wouldn't even bother with a bikini.
Make
this
the
point.
most of it.
She'd want like food. But which kind? Like I'm trying to think of something that spoiled too much. And that would like relatively reasonable, like that could sustain them. But yeah, food. Something to like snorkel. And maybe a hammock.
Would be like pasta or tacos or what was like one of their dishes that they went to in book 2?
She loves lasagna, but if she could have like a taco bar with her, she would pick one.
Ooh. I would want a taco bar on my desert island.
That would honestly that Italy becomes a vacation and you never want to leave. But yeah, no, I think she would want. No, it should be reasonable. And even though, like I say that she might like want a crate of Doritos, that way like it's practically never spoil, and she could like eat it for weeks. But yeah, they would definitely not see it in the same way. I would say like Lex would
Right. No,
need
absolutely.
an art. Like we would need to take control of the moment of like, yeah, but we need to
Oh my
be able
God.
to get out.
Andy would
the
like,
most
she would
we
make the
have
most
to.
of it, and Alex would be like, what the fuck? Like,
No, she'd get naked, she'd get in the water, she'd be like, oh no, first vacation. And he'd obviously like be on the phone already with everybody like, can you come get us? But like we're good to stay for a couple of days maybe, but can you come get us after? Yeah,
that's what
that's how
security
they
game plan. Like,
yeah, but I also feel like Andy would have seen Lost the whole
oh
show.
yeah.
And so like she'd be very aware. She'd be looking for signs of like something weird going on.
I love, yeah, because she was on the up and up about like current events, current like pop culture, and Lex
Yeah.
was not at all. So she would be watching out for things, and he'd be like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, she'd read Lost books all the time and he wouldn't get it. And so it's highly possible that like they're first there, like Lex builds a fire or whatever, and she tells him, like the whole show, how things go.
Like we got to look out for the shadow.
Yeah,
What
like
are you talking about?
entertainment. We have to find the bunker. There is a bunker.
I love it. I love it so much because it's so true. It's so true. If you get into
It's
the mind
them.
of these characters, like,
Yeah.
which I know you're still in the mind of them because you're still like rolling out your press tour and all of that. I keep forgetting, like, when I talk to you guys about this, it's like, oh, the book's not out yet. You're still in the thick of
Yeah.
boom, promote. Like, I
So,
love it. It's so fun. Okay, so Anna Darcy, if you're allowed, what are you working on that you can talk about? Next project
um,
or Binary Hearts?
I'm gonna go back to When in Brooklyn and Not Love in Boston.
What is it like? Oh God, what is it called? I'm so excited about it. Like you teased it and then you didn't talk about it ever again.
Originally, I wanted to hop onto that and the issue because it was supposed to be quick. Like I felt like within a year I could release all 3 books of Andy and Lex. Grave mistake on my part, but yeah, I wanted to jump into like sequel of the ladder, and then I didn't get to do that. Yeah, the idea is to write Killian's story. I stopped few hang-ups because I like to. I'm a plotter through and through. Like, but I don't round everything in my head to like an alarming extent, to be honest. But everything is in my head, and I'm still trying to work through the characters for like in that book. I know Killian, like we've seen him in the first book. I know his backstory. I know his behavior. I know Nanglops. Like I know everything about him. But now I also know what I want the book to be about. But I'm still trying to figure out the FMC and like the push between them because I get bored easily, so I don't want to write the same books twice. And I don't want to write a book where there is no plan between them, but also it's not like I know it's not going to be enemies lovers or next to lovers. It's not going to be opposites attract. They're going to be very different, but they're not going to be as opposites as Jen and Drake. And so I'm still trying to figure out what is going to be the friction between those characters.
Like what's going to be the driving like excitement, the driving force?
Yeah,
driving,
because like
plot.
they are both going to be grown adults, and the idea is like they're both attractive. They are both going to be in close vicinity because she actually will open a cute little restaurant right next to the Devil's Killian's bar. Okay. And so there is all this.
If Killian likes a little meat on his bones, he might be my next book boyfriend. So just saying. I think he was like, I think I remember a conversation between him and Jake, and he was like, "Oh, Genevieve's too skinny."
Yeah,
and I was like, she's like a normal person, right? Like she's just a normal like figure.
Yeah, she's slim, but she's not. Yeah, but she's slim but not skinny. So yeah, he definitely likes.
You got to get with the cook.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I don't think she's gonna be plus size. Of her to be, I think she's gonna be more like normal sized on the plus, like normal plus.
Like mid size.
Yeah,
I think that's a thing.
Yeah, mid. Like she's gonna be
just a normal, like healthy.
Yeah, like that's exactly because she's not gonna have an unhealthy or anything. She's just gonna have some meat on her bones, like you put it. And I dislike how we have made plus size a whole separate thing in like, books. You know, I feel like, yeah, and it's either the woman is like slim, like normal weight, or she is plus size. And I'm saying it as a fat bitch. Like I'm not no harm to anybody.
I'm overweight all my life, so like I do appreciate it. Like, yeah, like why can't we just embrace like a normal size. Like
Yeah,
it's
like either she's slim or she's a, again, fat bitch. I'm saying it like
a
because
well,
it's
a
where I
normal
am.
size. I feel like maybe is a size 10 or 12, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
And so I'm never going, like on the cover, it's going to be pretty clear that she has some meat, everything, but I'm never going to, because also when you make a romance where she is basically plus size, like you have to make a big deal out of it. Like it becomes something, it becomes a
it's
story.
like
And
oh,
there's
like it becomes
have like this
yeah,
expectation of like, oh, she's plus size, so she's gonna have
yeah.
some insecurities and whatever.
Well,
He's
so
worked
I
for it,
think
you know?
that an author that does it well is Amy Ward, and she has the Kaki Kingman series where it's like a football, sports, romance, standalone or series, but
Yeah.
the FMCs are plus size, but or mid size to plus size. And she was just, I was gonna do one character, but then I was like, oversized women, overweight women want to get fucked too. Like she was like, good and spicy. But it was like the main characters, the women are a little on the heavy side, and the men are a part of this. She basically was like Bridgerton, football Bridgerton, where it's like 8 siblings and they're all into football, and it's a widower single dad who had to raise him. And so it's like, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's like also you follow the characters, so you're like waiting for their story, right? Like with interconnected standalone. But no, that's what I'm saying. Like she's one of the ones who like does it right, where it's like, oh, you don't need to lose weight to be happy. There's a man who like will kiss your fat belly, or he will your body as it is, which is like we're saying, someone who's grown up like overweight all our lives. We've grown up being treated that way or knowing that's how we are. It's like I even as fluffy and as corny as some of the things can be, I do appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like it's so yeah, like you could figure out a way, but I'm saying don't interrupt your flow, but you could do it. You could do it.
Yeah, and I will. And but I think she's gonna be, yeah, she likes eating and she likes cooking, and it's also going to be like relatively confident about her body because she's aware that men are like adapted to what she has to offer. Again, I don't want
That's
to
like
make it a
Kieran.
full
I don't know. I
thing.
was like, hey boy. But I was
And I
reading
feel like,
up the ladder. I was like, ooh, I want his story too. I want all their stories. I
yeah,
want, oh my God, what was it? The other one, not Karen, but then the third one where he was with
Elijah,
the bestie.
Elijah,
Who was it? Yes.
Elijah.
Oh my God, he was such a sweet, like, oh, I was like, I want
Yeah,
their story.
he okay. So the friends, the trio, it would
He's
be,
also a slut, right? Like,
he is going to be very interesting to explore because in the end, yeah, like Killian, like they tease Elijah all the time, but Killian is getting less pussy than Eli. But Killian just does a big thing out of it. It's
he's
just,
like,
it's
that's
available
okay.
to him all the time, like being the owner of his, like he could every the new woman, but it doesn't really interest him anymore at this point. And but he doesn't really talk about it or make anything out of it. So like he and Jake, like they tease Eli about Eli's sex life, but Eli's sex life is actually more intense than Kill. But yeah, it's like the trio is actually so funny because Elijah is definitely a golden retriever. Jake would actually be a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Well, she has that vibe.
He could be like the German Shepherd. Like he could be a
And
golden retriever, but no, he's like a little hard. Like he's a little
she's
hard.
a German
Yeah.
Shepherd. And his
Yeah.
is actually the
Oh my God, I love
Doberman.
that.
Not Doberman, Rottweiler. Like that's Killian. He has like very hard looking outside. And
Oh,
inside, like he's just very mushy, very all of this. So yeah, that's their personalities, and that's why they make such like a great trio.
I love it.
But yeah,
I love it. And I
so
can see the excitement of you like, okay, your turn.
yeah,
Your
like
turn.
I have those ideas.
Your
like,
turn
I
to like
don't-
make you a scene.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Killian will be such a simp. Like if he, that's something that I'm also trying to work on for this story is because there is going to be an aspect that people are going to feel is miscommunication, but it's actually going to be like a lie. Like, it's not even miscommunication, it's like deception, which at the end is very different. And so I'm trying to work, like, to find out exactly what book is going to go and how the dynamics is going to be and the struggles and the chin and the everything, so that when I'm ready to write it, it's just going to flow like very well. And there are some vibes that I don't want to give off as I write. Like, I know people really dislike miscommunication, for instance, so I have to work
Fuck it.
on making sure it doesn't
Do
read like,
whatever feels right to you.
yeah. But
This
yeah, because I also hate miscommunication. I feel like if the whole book, like the whole tension in the book holds, like, could be solved in a talk between the characters, is
yeah.
extremely frustrating. Like, you need something to make the
Yeah.
drama work. Because again, like, your characters just have
Which
to
is why
sit down
Annie
and talk
Alex
for
worked
10
so
minutes.
well, because you were like, no, this is gonna be 3 books.
Yeah, and they don't have that. Like, they don't have this miscommunication thing. Even early on, like, even when they're just starting to
No.
fool around, like, they have talks. I mean, I don't know how to handle it. I don't know, like, this is the first time I'm feeling old and I don't know what to make of it. But they do admit, like, he does admit, yeah, this is the first time I'm feeling all this. So it's, and that's something that's
I love
important.
your brain.
That's also why I'm trying to think of the second book of The When in Brooklyn, because again, I don't want it to be a conflict that could be solved single conversation. So I have to
Yeah.
make it work.
You gotta make it exciting. You gotta make it like
Yeah.
thought provoking. And
Yeah.
where we're like,
Like,
oh,
make it make
and
sense.
then yeah, exactly. You'll do it. I know you'll do it. Even if
Wow.
it takes a year, I know you will do it. You'll do
No,
it and you'll do it so well.
It will be faster now that I have my own plan, because that's why I like, you keep saying that you like, it's okay that book 3 took me so long to write, but the truth is, when book 2 came out, I took a little break because it's always so intense, like having to write the book, prepare the book, and then do the Kickstarter and then do the release and everything.
Did you feel like a lot more pressure, like a lot more eyes on you after?
Not even, but like, I took a bit of a break because I just need to like reset my brain before I start something else. And then, like, right after that, I had so many plans all the time. Like, there was literally 4 months where I was constantly somewhere, like going to visit friends, to visit my grandma, and then coming back for 5 days, and then to Paris to see friends, and then coming back, and then, like, for 4 months straight, like, I couldn't spend more than at my place. And so I had no time to write.
They wanted you. They were like, Anna.
And I wanted to write, like, didn't have time. And when I start writing, like, it's a whole process, and I need to know that I'm gonna, like, be able to just let it out and write for a long time and everything. And so I couldn't, literally, when I need to move, like, I need to leave to go somewhere far from everywhere, so that I'm not as tempted to, like, hop on a train and go visit my friends and everything. And that's what I did. So now I have my own place, and it's
You have
very
your
far
own life
from
big
everywhere.
little sanctuary. And then when you're ready,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey, auntie, hey, cousin, hey, whatever.
Yeah, I will be able to write solo, and I plan, like, for the next 2-3 years, just my head, like, down and writing and working, and then I'll allow myself a break.
You do. I imagine that, like, obviously, you know yourself, you deserve a break, but also, you know yourself, you want to get some stories out.
Exactly.
You do you. I would say you do you. And I'm an advocate for self-care. I'm also an advocate where, ooh, grind it out, babe. Grind it out. You know what I mean? Like,
Anyways, like, when I will need a break, my brain will impose one. Like, since it's like
it'll be like, oh,
continuous
you did a
process.
pregnant. Let's do this then. Like,
Yeah, and even like what's going to happen is that I'm just going to be completely juiced out. Like it has happened in the past where I was working for like 2-3 years nonstop. And at some point, my brain was like, you know what, fuck off. And for like 2 months, I couldn't write a thing. And so my brain's just going to take the time it needs to
Yeah.
take whenever it's
No, but
you know?
listen to your brain when it says fuck off.
I will. Oh, I will. That I have, honestly, I just don't have a choice because it got to a point where when I sat down and I had to write a chapter, like I had a contract and I had to like 5 chapters a month. I sat down to write a chapter, I would literally start crying. That's how much I did not want to write. So I don't have a choice. And I know that when my brain will need the break, it will take it and
But
it
I
will
feel
find
like,
other
that
things to
sucks.
do.
That sucks when it becomes like not fun
Yeah.
and like an
But
obligation, right? Like,
But that's also when I learned that, at least for me, I don't know how the other authors do it, but for me, I need to write stories that I am really passionate about. Like if I'm writing a story just because, oh yeah, hockey is hot again, I need to write a hockey romance right now because it's going to sell so well. It's never going to work out for me. Like I'm going to be bored
um,
so much having to write it and I'm going to force myself and it's not going to be as good as when I actually want to write a book. It's not going to flow. The characters are not going to be, are not going to feel like as authentic and everything. So and again, like I'm so excited for the third book, In the Way in Brooklyn, because I have it down. Like I have the story. I know exactly what's going to happen. I know the friction. I know the tension. I know the characters. Like I'm good for this one, but I'm still waiting for like that kind of the moment where the second book is going to snap into place
and
in
when
my
we're
brain.
excited.
And yeah, and then like at some point, and it's just gonna snap. I'm gonna find like the one thing that I'm still struggling with, and then when it comes time to like write, it's just gonna flow off the page. It's gonna be amazing, and I'm gonna be so happy to write it.
So I don't know if you've heard of like Dungeon Crawler Carl. I am like thick into that series right now, and I got my husband thick into that series. But it's like lit RPG, and I feel like if you ever wanted to do that, you'd be great at it. But it's basically like, what is it? A D&D campaign in a book. So
That's
and
fun.
yeah, and the main character, his ex-girlfriend's cat becomes a fellow crawler with him, and it's fucking hilarious and fantastic. So it's like, oh, they go through levels, they get achievements, they have to go on quests or do whatever. I am recommending that because I think you could do it if you're looking for like some bonkers ideas. Because you're saying like, oh, tiptoeing into sci-fi. So I would feel like that would be something that you could like tiptoe into to get ideas. And it is like lit RPG, but it's hilarious. It's humor in addition to like action-packed bonkers shit. And it's so funny. And I got my husband, he's not a bookworm. He's not a reader. I got him to read Thorn Glass, and then
Aw.
I told him, and he liked it. He read all 8 books, and he liked it a lot. And then I told him, "You got to read Dungeon Carl." He's on the 5th book right now. He's about to start the 6th book. So I was like, I told him, I was like, I will not lead you astray. You have to trust my book or my book. He needs to read so much where I know you will be hooked. And he's like, how did you get me to read 4 books in a month? I'm like, 'cause I know. 'Cause I know.
No problem.
Anna Darcy, where can we find you online and on social media?
I have created accounts for several platforms, but I really just am on Instagram, to be honest. So Instagram at Author Darcy.
There's a lot. There's a lot out there, so it's very smart for you to just pick one.
Yeah, I can't even use Talk because it's very like they
Yeah,
use location too much, and when I post on TikTok, it's like
exactly.
for friends, and people in France don't really care about my books.
I
If I were in
know.
Germany, it would be
Oh,
different. But yeah, no, TikTok, I just fully gave up, which is
yeah.
because it's my understanding that's where people make their money.
Yeah. The more I learn about TikTok, the more I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, where didn't get banned somewhere? No.
In the US, it's like, oh, we want to switch it from China because the US does not trust China, which is fine. But it's like, I don't trust her US administration. But
Yeah,
that's a
sure.
conversation. So it's not,
Yeah, that's gonna make the like
yeah.
true tutorials or just going like, what's the point? But I have Instagram, which has could name Reach Jail lately, which is great. Just as I have
Wherever you're
Pornhub.
most active, and I will beef you up.
Thank you. But yeah, no, I haven't even checked because it's depressing. I just opened the ARC signups. I've had people asking me for when the ARCs will open. I opened the ARC signups today. I have 46 likes. Like 66. But no, that's very few. Thank you, but
I think that's
very few.
I have no idea.
300.
But then you would hope that they will fucking pump up the title, pump up your work.
Yeah, but honestly, like when I post,
the release date is like a month from now, so I would feel like just
exactly. I'll keep doing that.
You'll get more. Ideally, you'll get more numbers.
Fully. Yeah. No.
Okay, Anna Darcy, the love constant, the third book in the binary hearts, desire variable, passion, parameter. Parameter is a love constant. All of that. Get it now. It is. I will recommend it to anybody who loves romance, spicy romance, and all the trope across 3 books. I love this series. Yeah, absolutely. And when in this, you're ready to promote your other series that you started on, feel free to reach out. I would love to welcome you back again.
Yeah, reach out to me. It was simpler because I always have so many things when I publish a new book. So like, come to me and I will absolutely do this again.
You gotta keep track of you.
That's very much it. Thank you for having me.
We've been talking for like 2 hours. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not even surprised. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure as always. And talk soon. Like, honestly, I hope to have Killian's book out like this year and then maybe another book. Like, I'm looking for 2 more books this year. So
you can do it.
I'm sure I can. I will.
And there you go. That was Anna Darcy talking about her book, The Love Constant. That book is the final book in her Binary Hearts trilogy.
Check out the show notes
book 1 is the Desire Variable,
Walter online and on social media,
and where to Passion Parameter.
In the show notes, you'll also see where to find Cantina Book Club online on your favorite social media book communities, such as Bookstagram, Book Talk, BookTube, Facebook, Threads, and more. And I would love and appreciate if you could hit that follow button so that you never miss out on book reviews and author interviews.
Such as
if you have any book-loving friends who are looking to get more out of their reading lists,
and I would love and appreciate if you could hit that follow or subscribe button so that you never miss out on book reviews or author interviews. If you have any book-loving friends who are looking to get more out of their reading lists, please share Cantina Book Club with them so that they can find upcoming releases and interviews
and that goes
with
for any
authors.
podcast that you
Another way
listen
to help
it's
out
one
this
of the easiest
podcast
ways
is
that you
to
can
head
help
over
out.
to your favorite podcast
If you need book
player
recommendations, you can reach out to me. I'm always looking forward to recommending
helps
books
me
based
reach
on
more
your
potential
particular favorite
listeners and book
genre
lovers like
or
you.
your reading mood.
And that goes for
Or you
any
could head on over
podcast
to
that you listen to. It's
CantinaBookClub.com
one of the
to read
easiest
more
things that you
in-depth
could do
book
to help
reviews
out.
of all
If you
types
need
of
book
genres.
recommendations,
While
you can
you're
reach
at
out
it,
to
you
me.
can
I'm
subscribe
always
by entering
excited to
your email
share
on
my
the
thoughts
website so that you can
and
get
just
new
really
reviews
give
and
suggestions
episode
based on
posts
any
delivered
genre that you're
directly
looking
to your
for.
inbox.
Or if you want
If you
more
want to support
in-depth book
Cantina Book Club
reviews, you can
even
head on
more,
over to
you could donate by finding the form on
CantinaBookClub.com.
CantinaBookClub.com, whether it's a one-time donation
thriller,
or as little
sci-fi,
as $1 a month.
find
I seriously appreciate the
that could
support
be on
and will
your
share my
TBR. While you're at it,
appreciation
you could
by giving you a
subscribe
shout
by
out on the
entering
show
your
or maybe
email
sending
and
you
on the
something a little
website
extra.
so you could get
And
new
finally,
reviews
one
and
of the
episode
best ways that you could
posts
help
delivered
authors
directly
promote their
to your
works is to
inbox.
head on over to
If you want
Amazon,
to support
Goodreads,
Cantina Book Club
Storygraph,
even
or
more,
wherever
you can
that
donate by
you
finding the form on
look for book recommendations,
whether it's a
and
one-time
give the title
donation
that
or as
you've
little as
read and that
$1
you've
a
liked,
month.
a
I
rating and
seriously
review,
appreciate
and it
the
helps
support.
out almost as
And
much as
will
actually
share my
purchasing a book
appreciation
or
by giving you a shout out
promoting
on
it
the
on
show.
social media.
And
Thanks so
finally,
much
one
for
of the best
listening,
ways
and
to
see you
help
next
authors
time.
promote their
Cheers.
work is to give them a rating and review on Amazon, Goodreads, Storygraph, or anywhere that you leave ratings and reviews. It's one of the best ways to help authors get their word out, other than basically buying their book or tagging them on social media. As always, thanks so much for listening, and see you next time. Cheers.